I should really be working on stuff. I really don't feel like it. I can scroll for a few more minutes. Hey, girl. Hey. Girl, get off your phone. Get off your phone. Go to the art room. Come on, you can do it. We have stuff we want to do today. Just get up and go to the art room. Please? I can't be the only one that's like this, right? Hi, I'm Sabrina. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about how I went from being like that on pretty much a daily basis to now working towards my goals almost every day. 1. Identify your goal. First, figure out what it is you want to achieve and why you want to achieve it. Write it down. Get yourself a nice notebook. I got mine from Goodwill because I'm cheap. And then keep it by your bed or in your car or by the toilet. Weird, I know, right? But keep it somewhere where you have 2 minutes every day to just write something. And just start by thinking about your goal. That's it. Maybe you want to start a business. Maybe you want to start getting in shape or eating healthier, or maybe you want to learn a new skill. Whatever it is, just write it down. So for example, my goal was to start a YouTube channel, and the reasons why were I wanted creative freedom, I wanted financial freedom, and I wanted to be able to connect/inspire others. And then I broke those down a little more. First was creative freedom. I wanted to be able to make the art that I wanted to make without relying on commissions or having to make the same thing over and over to find success. And I thought YouTube could be the vehicle to let me make the art the way that I wanted to make it and potentially make money off of it, which leads me to my second why, which is the potential for financial freedom. So I currently work in a field that has financial limitations. I currently do not make a lot of money, and the opportunity for financial growth is limited. I've been told that the only way to make more money in this field is to job hop, which means going where the work is, which means moving. And I don't want to have to be moving for the rest of my life. And I don't think that hopping from job to job should be the determining factor on my monetary value. So the fact that this has the potential to lead to some extra finances, if not all potential finances, is very appealing. And so that was the second why in my goals for pursuing this. And then my third why was to connect/inspire others, which sounds very self-important, but I followed a lot of people on YouTube who inspired me to go for this, so I'd kind of like to be that for others. And I know so many creative people who I think have the ability to make it on their own, but they get in their own way, or they overthink things, or they start projects but they never finish them. And I'd like to be part of a community where we can all build each other up and support each other and hold each other accountable. So I'm hoping to do my part of that to build a creative community where everyone can benefit. At least that's the goal. So maybe your goal is you want to learn to cook, and the reasons are you want to be able to control what you put in your body. You want to be able to eat healthier. By cooking for yourself, maybe you can make meals that give you more energy. Maybe it's a way to eat tastier things, or maybe it's a way you can share and connect with others. Whatever it is, write it down. Now you have your goal and you have your reasons for wanting to work on that goal. So now, how do you get started, and then how do you stay consistent? How to start. First, don't say I can't. I feel like so many people, when they go to start something new, they'll go, oh, I want to try to do X. And then their immediate thought after that is, I can't actually do that because blah, blah, blah. I had an instructor, Ronzio, in special effects school, who told me as soon as you said the words, I can't, you've now built a wall for yourself that you then have to climb over before you can even start doing whatever it is you wanted to do, because your brain has already told itself that whatever it is I'm trying to do, I'm incapable of doing. Which is stupid, because you don't know if you're incapable of doing it, but you've decided it already. So first and foremost, don't tell yourself you can't, because odds are you can. I did this when I wanted to learn a musical instrument. I don't really have any musical talent. I've always been an art person, so I was like, girl, stay in your lane. You've tried instruments in the past. You've never really been good at them. So like, maybe it's just something you can't do. And then I was like, fuck that. Why am I telling myself I can't do it? Why don't I actually give it a solid try? And if it's something I really want to learn, maybe there's a chance I can actually do it. So now that you've had that thought, I can't do it, and you've squashed that thought, because odds are if you're thinking about it and you're willing to work on it, then you can do it. Now it's time to actually start. And how do you do that? Badly. That is how you do it. You start by just doing it and being bad at it. There's a quote from Adventure Time that I absolutely love that goes sucking at something is the first step to being sort of good at it. So if you're trying to work out and you can only work out for 5 minutes, great. If you're trying to learn how to draw and you think everything you draw is awful, that's awesome. Because 1, you're already doing whatever it is you wanted to do, and 2, you can only get better from there. So win-win. When I decided I wanted to start a YouTube channel and I actually got started, I filmed 2 videos that I never posted because they were that bad. But in filming those 2 videos, I learned so much, which meant my 3rd one was leaps and bounds better because I had just allowed myself to be bad at something and seen those things all the way through. So by the time I got to my 3rd one, it was a pretty decent product. Is it amazing? No. Do I maybe cringe when I go back and watch it? A little bit, but it has over 1,000 views, so it's not unwatchable. So allow yourself to be bad. No, you're probably going to fail. Don't let it discourage you. That's part of the process. You didn't berate yourself for how bad you were when you were learning to walk and no one else did, or when you were learning to read. And odds are you probably failed a bunch with both of those things. So now that you've started and you're fumbling through whatever it is you're trying to achieve, how do you stay consistent? How to stay consistent. So my struggles for staying consistent were always, I struggle to start anything, even though there are things and projects I want to start for whatever reason. The initial starting process is always a hurdle for me to get over. And then the other way I struggle is in completing anything I started. So once I finally get started on something and I'm moving on it and I have momentum, there comes a point where I just kind of get bored with it and I just kind of peter off and never finish it. Case in point. Oh, that painting's not there anymore. Never mind. That wasn't a good transition. Case in point. So how did I finally get my shit together? So the first thing I did was I had that notebook and I got a calendar, and every day I wrote what I did to work towards my goal. Maybe it was brainstorming video ideas, maybe it was actually filming something, maybe it was doing some editing. Whatever it is, I wrote it down. And on the calendar, I just wrote little bullet points. And in my notebook, I went more in depth about what I had accomplished and what my goals were moving forward, or what a to-do list could be for the next day. Just anything that would record what I had accomplished that day and kind of give me a jumping off point for the next day. And then there were days I did nothing. And what did I do on those days? On my calendar, in giant letters, I wrote nothing. And then at a quick glance, you had a pretty good idea how much of the month you had actually worked towards your goal and how much of the month you had done nothing for it. And it wasn't to shame me or make me feel guilty or for me to go, oh my God, I'm so lazy. I'm never going to accomplish my goals. Look, I can't do anything. No, it wasn't for that. It was so at a quick glance, I could look and see what my month looked like and look and see how many days I had actually worked towards my goals and how many days I hadn't. And it was just to be like, okay, if you are saying this is a goal you want to achieve and that you're willing to work on it, look at how many days you didn't work on it. Look at how many days you did work on it, but look at how many days you didn't. Those are missed opportunities. So maybe if we really want to achieve this goal, maybe we work a little bit harder and we don't miss more opportunities. That's it. Even if you only spend 10 minutes working on your goal, that's still something and that still counts. Second is I broke my big goal down into smaller tasks. So like I said, I had my notebook and I wrote down my achievements, but then I also wrote down the next day what I could do and made lists of things I needed to work on. So that was one way of breaking down my tasks. The other way was I got a corkboard. So on my corkboard are all my project ideas. So while in my notebook, it's more like, okay, tomorrow I could edit this or I could shoot this or I could work a little bit more on this script. This corkboard kind of worked as a way to get my bigger project ideas down. So I'd actually be like, okay, this is a video idea, this is a video idea, this is a painting I want to do, whatever it was. I wrote those on here. And then when I accomplished them, I would take them off the board and put them in my fun little container. And then I could see how many things I had actually accomplished. And for some reason, for me, this is very satisfying. And so maybe it will help you to be able to visually see what you've accomplished, both by taking it off the corkboard and then by filling up a little container. I don't know, it worked for me, so maybe it'll work for you. This is something I used when I first started. I really haven't been using this as frequently lately because I've been getting so many project ideas that it's literally like a project pops up, I work on it, and it's done. So it never actually makes it to the board. So at this point, my board is more like, okay, this is an idea. I'm not going to work on it now, but I want a place where I can remember it and not have to actually remember it. And I can visualize it and come back to it. So that has now become what my board is for. So just another way to hopefully get you to stay on your goals. So again, if you want to start cooking, maybe you have a bunch of recipe ideas, but you don't have the time to cook them right now. So maybe you can just put them on your cork board. And one day when you do have time, you can look at it at a quick glance and go, oh, lemon chicken, I want to make that. Let's go. My third tip for getting and staying consistent is don't tell people about your goal. It may seem counterintuitive, but there's science that when you tell people your goals, let's say, I want to start working out, I'm going to get in shape, and you start telling a bunch of people, yeah, I'm going to start working out, I'm going to start doing so many squats a day, so many bench presses a day, I'm going to start eating healthy, I have these meals planned, blah, blah, blah. And people start going, oh my gosh, that's great, that's so cool, that's great that you're working on that. You have already kind of done some work because you've thought about it and you have a plan, but now you're telling people about it and they're telling you how great that is. So you're already kind of getting rewarded. So your brain releases all the happy hormones and you're like, yes, yeah, this is great. Which actually means you're less likely to do it because you've already gotten the reward, or at least less likely to stay consistent because without doing any of the real work, you've already kind of been rewarded because your brain got its little happy chemicals. So that's one reason not to tell people. The other reason not to tell people is if you tell the wrong people, they can be very negative. Let's say you want to start a business and you're like, you know, I've really been thinking about it. I have a business plan. I already have a market for it. Like, I really think I can do this. And you start telling people and you tell the wrong people and they're like, yeah, you want to start a business? Do you really think you can handle that? You know, you have to work a bunch of hours when you have your own business. You're not working 40 hours a week. That's an 80-hour work week. I don't think you can handle that. Like, Beach, that is not negativity you need. So now that doesn't mean don't tell anybody your goal. That just means tell the right people and don't tell everyone. So when I decided, you want to know what? I'm going to start my YouTube channel. I'm going to be serious about it. I really want to put in the amount of effort that has the potential to make this a full-time thing. I only told one person. The person I told was my friend Nathan because I knew he would be supportive and he wouldn't make fun of me and he wouldn't try to talk me out of it. So he was the only one who knew when I started out. And the fourth tip for getting consistent is I Pavloved myself. I put very delicious chocolate in my art room and I only got to have that chocolate after I finished working on something. Even if I was only in my art room for 10 minutes, I couldn't have chocolate until I had come into my art room and done something. Another way you can Pavlov yourself and like give yourself a little reward is like maybe you hold off on watching your favorite TV show until you've worked on your goal for 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be a lot of time, just anything, because odds are if you start, you will actually do it longer than you intend to do it. And so just give yourself a little reward, whatever it is, but stick to it and make sure you only get it once you actually work on whatever your goal is. Fifth is make an appointment. I now have a weekly appointment with my dream. It sounds silly. It's Tuesdays at 6:30. But if you have a doctor's appointment, you're not going to miss it. If you have a club or a yoga class or something, you show up for that class. You work. Odds are about 40 hours a week. And odds are it's something you don't necessarily want to do, but you still show up because you have to. So you can show up for half an hour once a week to work on your dream and try to make it come true. And it's gotten to the point where I'm working so consistently towards this goal that my alarm goes off for my 6:30 appointment on Tuesdays with my dream. And usually I've already been working on it for like an hour or so. So that's really cool to see, like, dream alarm goes off and I'm like, oh, hey, already doing that. Let's keep working. So my sixth tip for staying consistent is find other motivated people. Find people who also have goals they want to work on and who will hold you accountable. If they see you have this goal and you've stopped working on it, they'll go like, hey, you said you were going to work on that thing. Work on that thing. If you surround yourself with a lot of people who are totally cool, just chilling every weekend and watching Netflix and like going out and drinking, and they think it's kind of weird that you're spending so much time on something, you're going to be much less motivated to continue on it if you also don't have people who see the benefit of working towards something and seeing what that can bring to their life. And my seventh tip for staying consistent, this is where it gets a little hippy-dippy and a little bit spiritual, so I'm not going to go into it in this video, but I found that when I started getting consistent, it seemed as though the universe or God or circumstances or whatever just kind of started to work in my favor to give me more opportunities to be consistent, which is really weird to say, but it was almost like I was being rewarded for the effort I was putting in ways that weren't just like, oh, you're working on this thing and now this thing is done and you're closer to your goal. It was like, oh, hey, you need time to work on that? Here is now a way that you have more time. That doesn't make sense. I will go into that in another video because I think it's cool, but it's not everybody's jam. So it's going to be another video. And lastly, achieving your goal. You've identified your goal. You've been working on it. You've been consistent. So now how do you actually achieve it? And all I can say is keep doing the thing. Don't stop. Don't give up. Don't get discouraged. You're going to fail. You're going to get derailed. When that happens, deal with it and keep moving. Also, don't stop because you think it's taking too long, because good things take time and you owe it to yourself to put in the time, because eventually you might be able to do the thing that you didn't think you could do. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps. Good luck on achieving your goal. I believe in you. So go do it. Whatever it is, go do it. Do it now because you've got this and you know you've got this. So go get started. Also, if you like this video and you want to help me achieve my goal, please give it a like because that'll help. All right. Thank you. Love you. Bye.